OK, now to some surprise reports regarding Sporting head coach Ruben Amorim. West Ham are doing due diligence on a number of managers and have not commented on reports suggesting that talks are planned with Amorim. The Sporting coach is currently the favourite to succeed Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool when he departs in the summer, but has not been offered that job despite rumours earlier this month. Amorim himself has said this. He can't make any guarantees where his future lies, but it is looking increasingly likely that it may be in the Premier League. So, interesting one, this. There was those links with West Ham. West Ham are not saying anything. Gail, just put this into context. Why is he so in demand?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because they're two big jobs in the Premier League. Why is his name being linked with both of them? And what do we know about him? Well, he's actually only 39 years old and he finished his playing career in 2016. He did win 3 Portuguese league titles with Benfica and played for Portugal in every age group with 14 senior caps. 2014 was the World Cup he featured in most. He took that experience that he'd gained into management, initially with the 3rd Division Casapia side, and that's before he took over at Braga in 2019. He won the Portuguese Cup there in his first season and then he moved to Sporting in 2020. There, he won the league and cup double in his first year. Now, Sporting hadn't won the title in 19 years, which gives you an idea of the job he did in a very short space of time. He's since won another League Cup and a Super Cup, which is the equivalent of our Community Shield. This season, if we have a look at the league table, they are 7 points clear and on course for another title. If they beat Porto away at Porto this weekend and Benfica fail to beat Braga, there will be celebrations again in Sporting Lisbon. So in a relatively short managerial career, 39, Rob, manager's just getting younger and younger. He's already achieved a lot, but it's interesting that he is already being put forward to some of the big vacancies here in the Premier League.
Yeah. Very young, very young girl. Right, I wonder if there was eyebrows raised when this link with West Ham was floated in certain areas recently. It'd be a hell of a coup.
It would.
Wouldn't it, for West Ham to get it? Or is this just, we see it quite often, agents dropping stories here, there and everywhere just to maybe force Liverpool's hand a little? Which way do you see it?
Yeah, my eyebrows were certainly raised when I saw the reports yesterday. As you say, he's been linked with Chelsea in the past, he's been linked with Liverpool, he's been linked with Barcelona, with Xavi possibly, probably, leaving in the summer. But I was the same as you, Rob. I was kind of thinking, where is this coming from? Is it maybe coming from Amorim's camp and they're maybe trying to smoke out interest from some of those bigger sides, Liverpool perhaps, although there were reports yesterday that he's maybe not as high up Liverpool's list as some people thought, which makes you wonder where Liverpool are going to go, since they're not going to get Xabi Alonso either. And then I also thought, is it maybe coming from West Ham? They're coming off a week where they got knocked out of the Europa League. They then got thrashed by Crystal Palace. David Moyes' future really looks like it's in doubt. Are they kind of throwing a bone to the fans and saying, look, we're in talks with this hotshot manager that everybody wants in Europe? So it's an interesting one. I would be surprised. I'm impressed at the ambition, but I'm intrigued to see where he does end up.
It would be a huge coup for them, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't think anyone was at all surprised to see him linked with Liverpool, which I think says a lot about how he is seen and his potential. You know, he does look like a manager who's destined for the elite, and I'm sure West Ham and Liverpool aren't going to be the only clubs showing an interest this summer. I mean, you look at his body of work in Portugal, as Gail outlined there. I mean, it's really, really impressive, the style of play as well, and the number of players he's improved. You know, there's so many players who've been through Sporting in the time he's been there, or are still there now, some of them, who have just got so much better under his management. You think of Pedro Porro, of Matias Nunes, of Nuno Mendes, João Palhinha, Marcus Edwards, this season Victor Gyökeres as well. So he does have that man management ability, that coaching ability, and he's had great success in Portugal, and it'll be really, really interesting to see where he ends up next.
Yeah, you mentioned his style of play, and when you're my age, your brain takes a little longer to rack. He plays with wing-backs. I'm thinking Conte, perhaps the last manager to win a league title, Premier League title, playing wing-backs. It's kind of gone a little bit out of fashion again, so who would it fit?
Well, I think it it would fit West Ham in a sense in that they've played it quite a lot under David Moyes. And I think it could fit Liverpool. Obviously, they've kind of stuck quite rigidly to the 4-3-3 under Jurgen Klopp. But obviously, modern players in particular, but particularly players at the level that Liverpool have got, I think would be more than comfortable switching between different systems. But then you look at the players that Liverpool have got. Trent Alexander-Arnold as a right wing-back, Andrew Robertson as a left wing-back. I think that could really work. I also did look at it and think, oh, maybe Amorim's one of those managers who he's just playing 3-4-3 because it suits the players at his disposal, but he's done it throughout his time at Sporting, and he played 3 at the back at Braga. So I do think if he does move to the Premier League, that's certainly the system that he would look to favour. Maybe it's about time 3 at the back came back. It worked pretty well for Antonio Conte, didn't it?
Certainly did.
Yeah, I think in terms of style, though, if you take out the system, I think he is a good fit for Liverpool in terms of the style that his team play. You know, they press high, they're very proactive, they try and force turnovers high up the pitch. So in that sense, you can understand why Liverpool went for him. You know, that stylistically, although the system is different, the style is quite similar. I'm sure they had that in mind, and they probably do still have that in mind. For West Ham, that would be a much bigger departure, wouldn't it? They are, under David Moyes, more kind of reactive. They sit deep, they soak up pressure. And that is maybe something that the fans want to see change. They want to see a slightly more ambitious style of play. So it's an interesting one. I think it would be, for Liverpool, he could potentially continue some of the work Klopp has done, albeit in a slightly different guise, whereas for West Ham, it would be a total transformation of the style, really.